Which micro monster truck is the best? Today we find out. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. First of all, this video should be going live on Christmas Day, so I just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. Thank you for tuning into the channel. It's a very cold and wet Christmas here in Louisiana, so today I know you guys are probably getting a little tired of the micro monster trucks, but today I'm finally doing that comparison, a real in-depth overview of all three of my micro monster trucks. I'm gonna set up a little arena basically on my pool table. We'll go through racing, a timed racing attack, freestyle, and probably some skills competitions as well, and see which truck comes out on top. Today we'll be comparing my three trucks, the FMS Max Smasher, my 3D printed micro monster truck with the Furitek electronics and SCX24 axles, and the Furitek Rampart truck, which has enduro axles and all Furitek electronics. A quick disclaimer, although I do have a little bias to my own truck, obviously, and Furitek did send me this truck originally, none of these companies are sponsoring this video or paying me to say anything nice about the trucks. So this is gonna be as fair of a comparison based on performance as possible. To make that comparison as fair as possible, there's two quick things I want to cover before we get to running. I've talked about how I had some trouble with the batteries with my FMS Smasher in the past, so I went ahead and removed the battery connector, soldered on an XT90, and I'll be using this 2S 450 milliamp LiPo battery. It is comparable to the stock battery that comes with the truck, maybe just a little heavier, but performance wise should be the same. As we know, if you've seen my earlier videos, the SCX24 axles do slow down my 3D printed truck a good bit, so today I'll be running a 3S LiPo in it just to kind of keep the speed similar. The Rampart truck is obviously the fastest. We all know that from the older videos. The FMS Smasher has some really good speed to it, but this truck on 2S is a little sluggish. So we're gonna run it on 3S today. Hopefully that'll liven it up a bit and give us some good comparisons. I'll also be trying out some new equipment today. This is a gimbal from Hohem. They sent this gimbal over to me. This isn't gonna be a full review video, but I do wanna test it out. It has some pretty cool features involving object tracking, and I'm pretty sure it should be able to track these trucks going around the pool table in my little arena I'm creating. My phone mounts in here just like this, and I should be able to get some pretty cool shots, hopefully, with this using my phone. The intro to this video was actually filmed with this gimbal and my phone. I think this could be pretty cool for any of you that like to film your RCs like I do. I'm pretty excited about getting this outside when the weather dries up a bit to see how well it can follow around, say, a monster truck or something. If that works, I think it'll be pretty cool to get some really nice shots using this gimbal. I'll make sure to put up a logo on all of the clips that I filmed using this gimbal, and let me know down in the comments below if anyone's interested in seeing a more in-depth review or more coverage on this gimbal itself. The link where you can get one yourself will be in the description below. Now, with all of that covered, let's get set up and start with some racing. To simulate racing, since I'm by myself and I can't really drive two trucks at once, we're going to be doing a timed racing attack, similar to what I did with my Losi LMT and SMT10 if you've seen that video. Each truck will start from the exact same point. We will go over the first ramp, make the turn, hit the second little crossover ramp, make the final turn, and the finish line will be the center point or crest of that initial ramp. I'll be using a timer. You'll see it come up down below. This will take into account not only the speed of the truck, but the handling of it as well on a small surface such as a pool table like this. Just based off of the look of it, real time with my eye, I felt like the FMS Smasher was the fastest of the 3 trucks. Or should I say the quickest, because as you saw, the time backed it up. While the Furitek Rampart might have more top end speed or all out speed, and my 3D printed truck may have better turning with that 4-wheel steering, the FMS Smasher felt the smoothest and turned out a time of 4.01 seconds. Quick note, I'm using my editing program for a timer, which is why some of you may have noticed the time will go from 3.23 to 4 seconds. That number after the decimal point is actually the number of frames that the program is counting. I shoot in 24 frames per second, so that's why it's counting that way. That's why there seems to be such a big difference between a 4-second run and a 3.23 second run. It's really not that far off, it's just the way the program counts frames per second. One thing to note here though is those tires. The FMS Smasher is running rubber tires, whereas the other 2 are running that hard rubber from the Spin Master models. Now on to Freestyle. I'm gonna give each truck about a minute to a minute 30 of freestyle time. Because of the nature of this, each truck will get 2 flip overs. After the second rollover, its run will have ended. I'll let you guys be the judge down in the comments below, but to me, it was pretty obvious that my 3D printed truck did the best in the freestyle competition. The 3D printed truck was the only one that I could seem to get a pretty decent run out of. The Rampart truck is just too fast, especially for this little arena that I have set up. It's very unpredictable off of jumps at times. And the FMS surprisingly was kind of jumpy. That oil I put in the shocks definitely helps, but it still seemed a little uncontrollable coming off of some of those jumps. On to what I'm calling a skills competition, stuff like wheelies, stoppies, backflips. I think it goes without saying that a competition like that is purely opinion based. I had three main things in mind that I wanted each truck to do to see how each one did. That was a wheelie, a moonwalk or stoppie, or a backflip using the backflip ramp. I feel like each truck kind of did them in different ways. They all had their strong points and weak points. Start off with my 3D printed truck. It was able to do pretty much everything pretty well except the wheelie. I was able to get a couple nice little moonwalks, even the couple that I flipped over. Backflips perfectly fine. The wheelie, sky wheelie, anything like that was a little more difficult. The FMS truck is really easy to do a wheelie with. Anything else though was pretty tough. You could see the only way I could do a backflip was in reverse. That did kind of work. A stoppie was basically impossible. The second the rear wheels came off the ground, the truck was quick to flip over. And lastly, the Furitek Rampart truck. I'm not sure if the speed hurts this truck or what. I was able to get a really easy backflip. This thing backflips the best. Wheelie, I was able to do a pretty nice little sky wheelie towards the end there. This truck as well, though, you can't do anything like a stoppie, a moonwalk, or anything like that. It wasn't happening. Based on just this, my pick, and I know some of you may think I'm biased, but my pick is my Micro Monster truck. There's one more thing I want to do though, because I don't think this challenge was 100% accurate because the tires aren't the same on all three trucks. Like I mentioned, I want to put rubber tires on these trucks in the future. So for today, just to see, I want to test the racing out. I'm going to take the wheels and tires off of the FMS Smasher and put on both of the other trucks and make a couple of laps and see what kind of times we can lay down. The rubber tires definitely woke these two trucks up. The Furitek Rampart actually was almost too powerful. I feel like I would probably have to go in the ESC and turn the power down just a little bit with rubber tires. I think it could also benefit from some diffs instead of being locked axles. But power-wise, rubber tires are definitely the way to go. I'll be picking some up for both of these trucks. The biggest surprise, surprise, is my 3D printed truck. I feel like rubber tires is exactly what this thing has been needing. That with the 3S LiPo, just to kind of even out the power closer to these other two trucks, I felt set this thing apart. I haven't actually gone through and looked at the video to get the times on those last two runs yet, but I could almost guarantee that my 3D printed truck was the fastest. So who's the winner of the challenge? Well, for me, I know I'll probably get a little hate in the comments for this, but it is my 3D printed monster truck. I think the balance of power and handling, as well as the added benefit of four-wheel steering, just sets this truck apart. Get a set of rubber wheels and tires on this thing that are about the same size as the Spin Master ones, and this is the perfect all-around monster truck for me. But hey, you guys might have seen something different while watching the video. You might have seen something you like better with one of these two trucks. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you agree with who I think won this challenge? Which truck do you feel stands out among the rest? Also, I don't want to forget, let me know down in the comments what you thought of the filming with the Hohem gimbal. I think there's some promise to that object tracking in the app, and I'm looking forward to getting it outside to see how it tracks some bigger vehicles as well. Let me know if you're interested in seeing a standalone video covering this gimbal. And remember, there's a link down below where you can check this out if you're interested. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, you want to see more Micro Monster Truck action, or don't want to miss any upcoming projects. I have a whole lot coming in 2023. So as always, thanks again for watching. Peace.